Joining me right now is UFC welterweight Sasha Palatnikov. Sasha, it's always good to speak with you, man. I like the jersey.
Thank you, brother. Repping Juventus, you know.
Are you a huge, I believe, Ronaldo fan? Is he playing for?
I'm a big Ronaldo fan. I'm a Manchester United fan. I,
Hmm.
I love football, or in the U.S. they call it soccer. But yeah, it's a sport that I've been following from since I was a kid, and yeah, I still follow it to this day. If there was one sport that I wanted to go pro in, it was football. But we'll settle with MMA.
For sure. After your last fight, I saw that you took a trip out to Europe and took the holidays over there. How was that trip?
It was good. It was kind of weird, like traveling, because we had to get permission from the French government to be able to go in. So it was like kind of weird, flying with, long distance with the mask, but got in. Everything was pretty smooth. Unfortunately, at the time, France was on lockdown, so couldn't even go to a restaurant if we wanted to. But it was really good to see my fiance. I hadn't seen her in 6 months. So being able to spend time with her over the holidays was really good, especially coming off that win, and it was a good way to just kind of relax and just finish the crazy 2020 that we all went through. But yeah, I stayed out there, did New Year's, and then I was back in the States on the 5th of January, and yeah, just been kind of back on the bike, getting ready, and just waiting for any call up from the UFC to eventually make its way.
It must have been nice to just unwind and just be around, your fiance and be around just a relaxing environment because you had COVID before your last fight and then you went into the war. You were beat up. How was that recovery for you?
Actually, man, not bad. Like, so like the COVID thing was like surprisingly pretty good in terms of I didn't have any lingering effects, and but after the fight, I had just a couple stitches that looked worse than they were. Body wise, I was feeling pretty good. I think what really hurt me though was I always tend to do this is after fights, I to get on a flight and go somewhere, and I don't know if it's the altitude or whatever, the cabin pressure, but it's always when I like arrive at my destination that things start to kind of hurt and kick in a bit. But like you said, it was perfect. Like I wasn't doing anything but relaxing, eating good food, and just enjoying my fiance's company, her family, and just being in a different environment, and it's good. It's good to kind of take your mind off of things, and then plus being in another country, kind of looking at everything that just happened over the past month in the UFC as well. It was cool. It was just different versus like being in Vegas and just being and seeing the same people every day. It was nice to get a change of pace.
So you spend the New Year's there, you get back to Vegas, you're training, you want to get in the fight, man. That's your job. And was it frustrating to get opponent or was this the first opponent that they offered you?
So I spoke with my manager, and like as soon as I went on holiday, we were already like, yeah, like when are you back? When do you want to fight? And I was thinking like aiming for like end of February, beginning of March. That would have been like at that time I thought would have been perfect. And then I'd already like looked at the rankings, looked at everyone who's ahead of me, looked at what I thought would be like who wasn't matched up. So I literally created a list of names, and I was like, okay, none of these guys have matchups. Like, let's go. Like, I didn't care who it was. There were some guys that had even who said that they wanted to fight me after my fight. So those are all like names that I thought, hey, this is going to happen, right? So I sent that list to my manager. My manager sent that through, and none of the names they were interested in, or they weren't interested in me. I don't know the full details, but they said no. So I was kind of like, I was like, what? I was like, I was kind of surprised, and then a couple months go past, and I'm starting to think like, man, what am I fighting again? A lot of welterweights are getting matched up, and then I'm thinking like, dude, am I just hanging out? And then just like usual, it just comes out of nowhere, and then April 10th. So that was, I want to say, yeah, like end of February. That's when I got that call, and I said yes straight away. It's never been a thing for me to think about fights. It's always been kind of like it feels like a scarcity. It's a rare thing. So if there is an opportunity, I got to take it. So especially now, I'm not in any position to pick fights or negotiate them. So I just want to go in. Whoever the UFC gives me, I accept it. Don't create any problems. Don't create any drama. Go in there and just do what I do. And then so once I heard who the fighter was, Impa, I was quickly checking him out. I already kind of had an idea of who he was, and I liked what I saw. I saw a guy that, he came off of a very, very savage knockout, you can say, and it could do a lot to you mentally. But from what I understand, Impa's a very educated and composed individual. And I feel like this is something that is going to actually motivate him even more to come out, because he's making his debut in a new weight class. So, you know, a lot of people ask me that I've spoken to, oh, you know, how do you think he's going to be? Do you think he's going to be nervous? Do you think? I don't think at all. I think he's going to come out even better than before. Usually when you come off of losses, you come back even stronger. So I'm not taking him lightly. He's a tough, strong individual. He's powerful. He's athletic. He has a former college football background, as do I. So, you know, I don't see a pure martial artist when I watch him fight, but I see a tough, composed individual in the cage who, you know, unless you land that perfect shot, he's going to be with you the whole fight. So I know he's got a lot of decisions on his record, so that means he's going to come in good shape. So it's the same story that I went in with my first fight. I knew the guy was going to come in raring to go. You know, a lot of people said he gassed and stuff like that, but when you get hit and punched by me, you're going to gas. It's just a fact. So the fact that he gassed after one round is a normal thing. You know, it doesn't matter how good, how much in shape you are. You can run marathons, ultra marathons, but once you start getting hit in the body, hit in the head, it starts to low. And that's one thing that I prize myself on is my cardio and my ability to take a shot, my ability to take unnecessary damage to still come back and finish the fight. So I really think a fight of the night candidate is up in the air with myself and Impa. As long as he brings it, keeps it standing, I think it's going to be a really exciting fight, and I'm excited. I'm just like pumped. This is what I do for fun, so I can't wait to go out there and have fun again.
Going back to what you said about fighters gassing, you know, in some ways they're trying to discredit the other fighter, you know, that won the fight, saying that, oh, that fighter gassed, right? It gets annoying as a fighter that won the fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like when people say that, I mean, a lot of people that do this have never been in a fight in their lives, but to these guys that, you know, train day in and day out to not only be in the best shape of their life, but to say that they don't work or put in that work to get good cardio is crazy. Because trust me, when you get hit in the middle of breathing, no matter how good your cardio is, even if you're Michael Phelps, you're gonna get tired. You know, it doesn't matter. So it's human anatomy, it's biology. So it's just one of those things of being able to control your energy tank, know when to go out, know when to hold back. And Lewis, like I said, he threw, I want to say like 50 punches in that first round, and so did I. So how come I wasn't gassed and how come he was? Do you know what I mean? So it's again, you brought it up perfectly, and it's one of those things that people won't realize unless they've really felt what it's like. But yeah, keep discrediting me, keep telling me that it was an easy fight or he's not good. It's fine. Just keep giving me challenges, and I'll keep trying to knock him down. And then eventually, hopefully, people will be like, all right, okay, maybe he does have good cardio.
Yeah, for sure. And going back to Impa, you know, he was on the receiving end of probably one of the greatest finishes in UFC history. You know, for you, where does that rank on knockouts ever?
Number one. Number one. Yeah, it was amazing. I thought it was incredible.
Do you feel pressure that you have to top that?
Not really. My dad was like, "Man, you got to do it too," and I was like, "Look, I'm sure if there's an opportunity to land something, and if it's there, I'll throw it. But you know, 9 times out of 10, that shot doesn't land. You know, and so I'm more of I like to play it safe with my techniques. I'm not going to do a Chris Weidman against Luke Rockhold and, you know, get my back taken and then TKO'd. So one of those things is it's a risk and reward thing. So I got to play my risks and my rewards at the same level. And then when the opportunity comes to do something spectacular, then we'll go for it. You know, last 10 seconds of the round or he's hurt. Those are the opportunities you go for it. And, you know, credit to Buckley to, you know, be able to react in that situation and to land something so beautiful. But like I said, I bet you he doesn't land that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And maybe you might have to channel that Hong Kong Bruce Lee energy in this fight, right?
There you go. I mean, that's every fight.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Now, you know, with Impa, he's moved to a new team, you know, after that fight. He's dropped down a weight class. That's some major changes, man, heading into this fight. Would you have done the same, you know, for yourself after a devastating loss?
Not necessarily. Again, I think maybe, again, you can't really judge. I watched that fight, the Buckley fight, and I think, I can't say, this is me assuming, but I'm thinking maybe Impa felt that he was maybe not strong enough for the 185 division. maybe Buckley felt strong on him. He took him down a couple times. He looked like he was a little bit in the running, a bit stronger in the fight. And maybe he just felt like, man, now's the time. Maybe I can go down. I'll have the advantage at 170. I won't be the smaller guy at 170. Funny thing is, I'm one of the bigger, taller 170s, and he's a 5'11" guy with, I think he has the same reach as me, or an inch and a half longer. So the size doesn't really change much, which I thought was good for me. A lot of the welterweights that I spar with, Sean Strickland, those guys, they're a lot bigger, a lot heavier. Walking around. So I hear Impa didn't cut much weight to make 185, so he had to hire a nutritionist now, and these are things you have to think about, and for me, fighting at 170, I never have to think about my weight. It's never ever been an issue. So it's just like it's a weight off the shoulder, but maybe for Impa, there's something that he's gonna have to think about more and require more energy to come down. He's gonna have to lose muscle mass. That's a fact. He's a very muscular individual. But I wish him the best of luck making the weight. I hope he comes in strong, ready to go. I hope there's no complications in the weight cut, and we go out there and we compete. But yeah, I mean, to go down, I mean, I don't know where he was training. I think he was out of North Carolina or something like that. But now he's down at Sanford. I used to train with the Black Zillions, so I kind of have an idea of the system down there. Dutch kickboxing and stuff. Good camp. But a lot of people, you see that happen when they get a big result where they lose or something drastic happens. They make these big changes, and it doesn't always work. But also sometimes it can be a positive. So everybody works differently. We can't fit that mold. So it'll be interesting to see how he is, how he reacts, how he feels at 170. Let's just say the pressure's on him to make the weight for the first time in his career in the UFC against, a relatively new up-and-coming guy that he probably doesn't know too much about himself. So, I mean, he's a composed dude, but let's see how he comes fight week. Let's see how he comes when he stands on the scale, and let's see how he comes when he's standing right in front of me. So it's going to be fun. Either way, I'm excited. So it's going to be good.
Yeah, you've been in Vegas for a while now, and the UFC PI has been huge for you. What have you added, or what effects have you had from working with them there, the staff?
Oh, I mean, since signing with UFC, the PI has been such a huge bonus, regarding supplementation, science, training, food. All of those things are now cost nothing for us, and they're readily accessible to us every day. So I came in on my debut. I came in and I did all my diagnostics. They did all their scans, their tests, and they told me I actually was light for my weight class. So they were like, you can gain another 10 pounds after this fight. You can start to look to gain some more size, speed, this kind of stuff. And that's great. I've always been kind of a fasting kind of dude, just not eating too much, just making sure I'm always on weight, because you just never know when you can get that call. But now being in the UFC, you can kind of be like, I feel a little bit safer now. Like I can take care of myself, make myself as the best version of myself. And then once the UFC gives me that phone call, then I know this is what we're doing. And I mean, the biggest thing for me has been supplements, because that's always an expense, and food. And I'm saving money there, and I'm eating super clean, and the facilities are just right by my gym, and I'm only about 15-20 minute drive away, so it's super convenient. And this was the whole reason I moved to Vegas, was to hopefully get this any kind of short notice opportunity in the UFC, but just to be training in this environment. I'm a full-time athlete now. I mean, I do some stuff on the side, but I'm just trying to put everything into this now. I've worked 11 years in this sport to get to this point. So I feel like I've done that work. I've done all that bullshit, and now I'm getting the rewards of it. And I think it's going to not only work well for me, but it'll work well for the company, because they're putting me in the best situation to come out and perform at my best. So that's been a huge thing. And I've been I work my strength and conditioning off site. I work with a man named Lorenzo Pavlica with Primetime Performance One, and I've been working with him since April of 2020 after my knee surgery, and he has been amazing for me. My power, my strength, my cardio, that's all thanks to him. And he's been such an integral part in just making me the better version of myself. And he understands everything. Sometimes you get with certain coaches, strength and conditioning guys who maybe have a background in football or rugby. They're not necessarily, they know what they're doing, but it's different. This guy, he knows everything in relation to the mechanics of how fighters move, how we need to punch, how we need to get up, how we need to sprawl. So he understands these movements and he's able to put it in all my workouts. And like I said, man, I work with this guy 3 times a week, every week, and the results are just there. And I can't wait to show it on April 10. Impa's a strong guy, but just because you have a lot of muscles doesn't necessarily mean you got a lot of power. So we'll see who's got the power on April 10th.
And you reconnected with your secret weapon, Matt Polino. Talk about, working with him
True.
day in and day out.
So Matt Polino, that's my day one best friend. That's my homie. Second fight of my pro career, we crossed paths in Hong Kong, and we've been together since. It's been a crazy journey. He's cornered me all over the world. We've been with each other all over the place, and even on a 2020 COVID year, I was able to get his ass out from Singapore over here. He's been my roommate for the last 7-8 months now. So it's been great, man. Like he was, when we started working together in Hong Kong, he saw something in me and I saw something in him, and we just clicked. And he's been able to take my game to a next level, my striking, everything. And the fact that he's got a huge wrestling background, it's just such an awesome thing to have, technique-wise, and just his knowledge of the game and just everything that every fight that I've had in my career, everything that we've done, whether we've been together or not, he's always in my corner, and it's amazing to have him here for this. It was super shit that he couldn't corner me on my debut because of fucking COVID. He got COVID, but this one's looking good. So he's gonna be in my corner for this one. We've been working a lot. We just finished hitting pads this evening. I'm working with him almost every day. I'm still going to Syndicate, getting my work as well, but we're putting in our work. We get in our work in the mountains. We go out into the grass. We do it all in different places just to get a different look. But yeah, that's my best friend, and it's even better to have that journey with him because, yeah, we want to take it to the top. He's gonna eventually make his way back to Singapore, but I want him, or I'm gonna go out to Singapore. He's gonna come back out here when we have these big fights, and this man's gonna be in my corner when we fight for that belt eventually. So I'm looking forward to it.
Now with Impa, what do you think separates you from him?
I think, to be honest with you, the first thing that I see is my footwork and my ability to just move is a much better tool than he has. He's very flat-footed, and he's not a volume puncher. He's more of he likes to throw power hooks, powerful. He's a power shot guy. He likes to counter too, so he waits for you to kind of open up, and then he likes to counter. Again, I look at puzzles. When I fight a fighter, I watch how they fight, and I see a puzzle. How do I solve that puzzle? And I've fought tougher puzzles in my career, in my opinion. There's only a couple things I have to really look out for with him, but I just feel overall my technique is better, the way I move is better, my defense is better. I just think I have more weapons. I add more weapons to my arsenal than he does, and like I said, this has been something that I've been doing for such a long time, and I just think my eyes, my distance, my management of all that in the cage are just going to be a little bit sharper than his, and I truly believe it will show on April 10. I think a lot of people are counting me out. I'm pretty sure I will be the underdog for this fight, but that's based on looks. I'm pretty much going to base it on that. Maybe it'll be even, but I think they're going to give him the favoritism here, but I think once that first 2.5 minutes goes, I think you guys are going to start to see there's going to be a gulf in the difference of levels. But hey, I could be very wrong too. But at the same time, I'm very, very confident in my abilities, and I think I can get him out of there within the first 2 rounds.
All right, man. April 10th, UFC on ABC2. Sasha, it's always good catching up with you, man, and good luck on the journey, man. It's been fun to watch.
Thank you, brother.